All right, so here we go. All right, so Oliver comes forward with a glove touch, and here comes the actual fight. So Duanye is throwing all arm punches. It's like he's trying to throw a baseball or something like that. Now Oliver is doing a bad thing, which is turning away and running. Right. So right now Duanye is just being very aggressive. Oliver tries. I don't even think Oliver tried to punch. I think he maybe he tried to throw a jab, but then the other arm kind of went out there. It was just weird. Oliver's not really fighting right now. He's just kind of trying to survive, and that was you see. I'll pause it here and I'll explain. That was not okay. Now look, it's Fishtank. This is a living room. This is Ben and Frank Hassel and Jet is somewhere around there. I don't expect WBC level judging or refereeing or anything like that. I don't expect world class refereeing or anything like that, right? I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, they need to do better. They need to do better. Like truthfully, I think this is just a shit show, and that's what it's always gonna be. And you're gonna have weird little things like that occur in a shit show. Duanye has probably got a lot of adrenaline coursing through him right now. So on one hand, I can actually understand why he started throwing because at that point he probably thought, "Oh, he's back up. He's getting back up. I gotta finish him." Right? What seems like anger from Dunye is really actually nervous energy. There's a lot of nervous energy that people will channel in different ways in a fight. Some people, the way they handle it is by goofing around. That's where you get like Anderson Silva, right? He loved to goof around. The Diaz brothers, etc., etc. They get nervous. The way they deal with their nervous energy, excuse me, is by pretending they're not nervous, and that could come in the form of trying to clown, or it could come in the form of mean mugging and getting in your face and things like that, right? Now, with that said, it's unacceptable what just happened. I don't like that Duanye did that. It's really only Dunye's fault, is kind of what I was trying to get at. And while I can understand where it probably came from, that doesn't mean it's okay. That was not cool. Those were some of the cleanest shots that Duanye has landed. Everything else was really just it was just weird, like throwing baseballs and things like that, trying to swing hammers. And even the punches that landed up to that point, they were really kind of, from my perspective, they were kind of glancing blows for the most part. They didn't really do that much damage. They didn't seem to hurt that bad. But you could tell when he started hitting them here, it hurt. And that's because he wasn't guarded. He wasn't trying to evade. He wasn't trying to roll with the punch at all. And in addition to that, he didn't know that it was going to come. He assumed that it was just it was over. They fell over, fight stops, and then that's that. I've had to learn that lesson myself as well. They say protect yourself at all times. That means including when the referee is yelling break. You don't stop protecting yourself until the referee comes with a crowbar and pries you apart physically. We're going to go ahead. All right, so here we are. There's a break. There's a phone that I'm afraid is going to get stepped on. I know it doesn't, but it's still bothering the hell out of me. All right, so Oliver comes in with a jab cross. Duanye ducks, and he starts flailing. So right here, right, people were talking about this, and they were talking about hammer fists to the back of the head. And no, hammer fists and punches to the back of the head, like what's happening now, is not a good thing. Again, Duanye really should have had a little bit more control there. What I will say is, in any case where Oliver turns away on his own, it's not actually going to be Dunye's fault. Like if Duanye is throwing a punch and Oliver decides he's going to turn away and give the back of his head to Duanye, that's Oliver's fault, right? There are incidental punches to the back of the head that are not ruled illegal simply because, like, what are you going to do? The punch was midair and the dude went, oh no, the guy who turned away, that's his fault. And that's why it's very important that you don't do what Oliver is doing, which is turn away and start running. I understand, someone's rushing you. It's not fun. You want to get out of there ASAP. I totally get it, right? You got to cope a little bit better. And this is why training is so important. This is why the karate was so important. That wasn't something that he was doing on purpose. It's not something that he was doing because he's like, oh yes, I know how to fight and this is the smart thing to do. No, he was doing it because his fight or flight sense kicked in. And even though he was in a fight and he wanted to win the fight, in the moment, his subconscious basically had determined that it was time for him to get the hell out of Dodge. So he turned around and he ran away, right? All right, so here we are. Now, keep in mind, the round is still going. And Ben hasn't really told anyone to fight yet, right? Usually it's going to be break, fight. They break, and then once the break occurs, if there's any instructions or anything that has to happen, it happens, and then the referee goes, fight. I mean, look, I don't expect these guys to kind of understand that. They're both very tired right now. But if that was me right there, I'd probably think, okay, Ben's in between us right now. I'm going to let him step out of the way, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go. But what you're about to see right now is Duanye walks over, takes a seat next to his bear, next to his daddy. Now Ben is saying, hey, fight. Oliver should be running over and punching him straight through the glass. He should throw an uppercut, and Duanye flies through the air, breaks the glass window. That's what should be happening right now. There's no reason for Oliver to not be throwing punches. And for that matter, there's no reason for Duanye to not be doing the same thing. The referee says fight, you fight. Doesn't matter. Duanye turning away, not a smart idea. A couple punches from Oliver. So those uppercuts are interesting. I don't know how many of them are landing. And the ones that are landing, I don't know if they're landing flush. That was not a bad move from Duanye, I'll say, is to, initiate a clinch. So Duanye throwing on the break. Now, I said earlier, right, you protect yourself at all times, even on a break. All right, you have to do that. You let the referee pry you apart. But that doesn't mean that you also get to punch on the break either. And again, this is a situation where Duanye is being not okay. He's not doing something that he's supposed to be doing. He should know better than to do that. I mean, after all, everybody knows that a referee has the final say on everything. And if the referee says break, you break. What I really mean is when he says break, you break and you don't throw punches. Right? It seems as though this is the end of the round, and in fact, at the end of round one, they ended up deciding they were going to end it early. I remember that. They had 10 seconds left, and neither of them wanted to fight, and they were like, oh, well, all right, I guess we'll just end the round here. I mean, look, if I had to give it to somebody, I would say Duanye right now, because he was more active, he landed more, and yeah, sure, he ended up throwing some cheap shots. I agree, like 100%. But even if you take the cheap shots out of it, he was still a lot more active, and he landed a lot more than Oliver did. We don't have judges' scorecards or anything like that. I'm not sitting here tallying up anything, but I think it was pretty clear who the winner of that round was if you subtracted any cheap shots thrown by Duanye in the first place. Yeah, I think it's funny because these two, right, they're tired as hell. They look like they're in better shape than me. I mean, Oliver, right, his physique is not bad. I think it's hilarious because if I was in there, I am 230 to 240 pounds right now. I am a fatty, dude. I know. I'm pot belly, all right? The pot belly ginger. I am the pot belly ginger. Fine. I accept that, right? I just think it's funny though because I have better cardio than both of these guys. It's pretty insane. It really just goes to show you that fight cardio is something completely different from looking a certain way or being able to run a certain amount of miles or anything like that. These guys are both absolutely exhausted. All right, so we got round two right here. All right, so here we go. We got Oliver trying to pretend like he's Ali over here doing the Ali shuffle. Dude's got to get his hands up. Duanye doesn't keep his hands up, but at least he's got his hands up right now. We got Oliver over here who he's just kind of like, huh. Oh, wait, no, his hands are kind of up. All right. So it looked like he was trying to fake high and then he went to the body, which wasn't a bad idea. Then he ends up going high again. Again, not a bad idea. It almost worked. It's just Duanye happened to end up Duanye ended up blocking it. So right now we have, again, none of that is allowed, right? Obviously, the kicks are not allowed. Duanye holding him in sort of a headlock position and throwing the punches. Luckily, none of them actually really landed like that. And luckily, the kick did not land. Duanye is just, he's not playing by the rules, right? And the rules are very lax to begin with, if we're being honest here. They're very lax to begin with because it's Fishtank. It's not like we're on Showtime. Rest in peace. We're not on HBO right now. It doesn't have to be some kind of big official thing, but even with that, he still can't help himself but to cheat. It's like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? But yeah, so let's go ahead and keep on going. Headgear comes off. They're gonna have to put it back on. I saw that, you two. Don't think I didn't see that. All right, here we go. Oliver taking the offensive, and we're in another grappling match right now. Ooh, that almost looked like. Hold on. Whoa. Sorry, I'm gonna pause real quick. I'm gonna go back just a little bit because I want to see Dunye's head. I want to see because it looked like something happened. Right here. No, I think it was incidental. So what I thought I saw earlier, right, was I thought I saw Duanye go bang with his head, which would have been interesting. It would have been that would have been that left way shit. Yeah, but no, it didn't happen. But right now we just kind of have a grappling match and nobody's actually landing anything. I know right now Duanye is like complaining about being held onto and stuff like that. It really just shows the lack of awareness, I guess you could say, that he has. It's that rules for thee, not for me thing. At least Oliver is just holding. He's not throwing punches and kicks and things like that. Duanye is going in for the kiss. All right, so now they break. Oh yeah, Duanye takes off his glove. At this, yes, okay. I think that was a method of that was definitely a method of trying to stall as well. Oh no, wait, I gotta pull my glove off for no reason. Now let's put it back on. Oh man, I can't get it. Ben, could you get it, please? I'm surprised he didn't ask him to do it like 5 times. Like, oh no, it's not good enough. No, it's not tight enough. Oh, it's too tight. It's just right, but I don't like just right. I like a little bit tighter. All right, here we go. So that right there, that left hook from Duanye was actually kind of funny. It was like almost technical. Almost technical. So Oliver tries to reach in for a cross, doesn't work, and another hammer fist from Duanye. So Oliver falls over, and Duanye just starts pounding on him on the ground. Again, I've said it like 2 or 3 times now. Duanye is not playing by the rules. I don't even know what I could say about it at this point, right? All I could really do is tell you what happened, and that's that. Not cool, but it is what it is. So we have Oliver kind of chilling. And Duanye takes the gloves off. So they declared Duanye the winner. I'll be honest with you, I don't 1,000% know if I agree with that. Only because Duanye quit, right? Duanye could not or would not continue. I would say that Oliver is the winner. Even though, I'll be honest with you, Oliver kind of got his ass beat. Jet was just going by who he thought got beat up worse. I don't expect, like, the rules of boxing to be followed to a T here, okay? Because if the rules of boxing were being followed to a T, then on a technical level, Duanye would have also lost by DQ in the first round. It would have happened. It was too egregious for him to have only been given a warning or to have had a point taken away. And speaking of which, there isn't even a point system being followed here. I don't think Jet knows how the 10-point must system works. I don't think he understands that, right? I don't even know that much about it. I'm not a boxing judge. When I look at fights, I'll be honest with you, I don't care about the judging system. Just like with jiu-jitsu, I don't care about the point system in jiu-jitsu tournaments. I look at what is happening overall. Who do I think is actually winning a real fight? And it's unfortunate because like Duanye was winning the fight overall. Like 100% he was. Even if you took out all the stuff where he started throwing punches while Oliver was on the ground or anything else like that, he was winning the fight. But he quit. He couldn't continue. I don't want you guys going after Jet because of this. All right, Jet had to make a snap decision on the fly. All right, and if you disagree, if you agree, like I don't want you going to Jet and being like, "Oh, Sensei Scott said." Oh, but Sensei Scott said, "Oh man," right? This is why I try to be very careful about what I say and when I say it regarding anything. I noticed the TJ and the Jimmy beef was extended to their fans too. Anything I posted about TJ and Jimmy for like 3 or 4 days after the fight that they had, there were just people arguing up a storm in the comment section, and it was killer. I was like, wow, this is insane. You guys are insane. I, I cannot stand you. Um, Look, like I'm not here to try and support one side or another in some kind of weird beef or anything like that. At the end of the day, I think Oliver won basically off of a technicality. And it's a situation where Oliver won, but he should probably feel like the loser. That is what it is, right? And I think that's why Jet gave it to Duanye, even though he quit and all those other weird things were going on, is specifically because he knew Oliver really didn't earn it. And that's probably what he was trying to go by is whether or not he felt somebody earned it or not.